All right, excellent afternoon to all those who are watching us, who are, listening to us right now across the globe in Nigeria. They say many of us now align with the adage that says that it's better to be taught how to fish than to be given fish all the time. Yes, I'm a believer of that as well. And this understanding precedes the understanding that it's better to develop human capital and, of course, in terms of investment in human consumption. I believe that that adage is really relevant to our discussion right now, and I'll be shedding more light on the show as the show progresses. Again, I say welcome to another interesting episode of Real Talk with Kike. I remain your convener, Kike, and of course, I have the Real Talker, one of the Real Talker. I would like to permanent talker right now, Damilola Bani. How are you doing? The woman in orange.
As in, we decided to orange everywhere. It's not only yellow or green. Well, good afternoon from everywhere you're watching us. It's another beautiful day, beautiful day, and we thank God at least we're still alive despite all odds. You might feel weak one way or the other. You might feel that strength is failing you, but remember, when there is life, there is hope. Please stay with us. We're just about to roll the dice.
Fantastic. All right, so on this day in history segment, 2 years ago, to be precise, Ibrahim Magu met with the UK National Crime Agency to bid for extradite the Ziani and the then acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, Ibrahim Magu, met with the United Kingdom government officials in London in an effort to extradite the extradition of the former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Ziani, Maduke, and it's unfortunate that this actually happened. But let's take a look at on this industry segment video. Stay with us for the right.
2 years ago, Ibrahim Magu met with UK National Crime Agency in bid to extradite Diziani. The then acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Magu, met with United Kingdom government officials in London in an effort to expedite the extradition of the former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Diziani Alison Madueke, to face trial in Nigeria. Diziani, who served in ex-President Goodluck Jonathan's administration, is expected to face trial for graft and money laundering running into billions of naira. She had holed up in London for the past 7 years. The British authorities claimed she was under probe for financial crimes and graft, but the EFCC had criticised the delay in prosecution of the former official, prompting the federal government to file an extradition request. Magu secured assurances that Diziani would be extradited in 1 month or latest by March of 2020. Sources said that Magu was able to convince the British authorities to expedite action on the extradition request filed by the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SAN.
All right, many thanks for staying with us. Dami, let me come to you quickly on this. Ziani, what's your take on this? That history is reminding of one of the most powerful women in Nigeria.
That Nigeria has ever produced. Well, I think for me, I think that it's good that we can have things written down. And, well, it might not be too good for her children, her grandchildren, great-grandchildren, even after she passes. These are the things that some of them will still get to read about their great-grandmother and how, in our local term, you see how jugunu she was and all of that. But I would say that Nigeria has a pattern, and this pattern sometimes does not allow us to actually follow things to the letter, in the sense that most times when you want to take an action, like the EFCC knows that she should be extradited and she should be brought to Nigeria to face the numerous corruption charges she had, but having hold up in London. And of course, the woman just played a fast one on us by going to Dominican Republic to actually nationalize, and she even became one of the ambassadors, their commissioners there in Dominican Republic. So it feels like till now she's not been brought back here. We've not really heard anything aside the forfeiture of her properties, seizures of her properties and all of that. But where is Diziani as a person? Is she coming back to Nigeria to answer these numerous questions on bordering on corruption charges, money laundering? The answer is still 50-50. Maybe when we have a new government in 2023, they could look into it again.
All right, I hear you with your submission. I just feel that what history is reminding us, when it comes to this administration, let me think towards this administration, where they say they are fighting corruption. I just feel that this is a double standards of, foreign nation with their approach to fighting corruption in Africa, and with the bilateral relationship. Look at Abacha right now when it comes to all the money that he has looted and they are returning it. But this is one person that, yes, she went into another country, nationalized from there, and before you can actually have such privilege, it means that you must have invested in that country. And it just shows how economically or financially low we are when it comes to our leaders in terms of looking for how to develop our country. It's unfortunate. She's one of those women that I actually liked aggressiveness when it comes to work. I want to tilt towards the remembrance of that for me, and like every other person, you have your issues here and there in terms of character, which is one of the things that late Miles Nuro, who I was privileged to work closely when he released the book on power of character, and I think that is what has been missing thus far when it comes to our leaders today in terms of power of character. So it's unfortunate that history is reminding us, Magu went to UK today. Even the Magu himself that we are talking about today, we all know he also ended. So I just don't want to start gaslighting some certain people of our leaders right now, but let's just move forward to a quick message from our sponsors. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with us. Earlier on, I mentioned the importance of teaching people how to fish, and this is a discussion that leads to our topic today, empowerment. Empowerment of human capital and human resources. I feel it's quite important for us to throw more light on it. And Nigeria is a country with over 200 million people, and the capacity of this population can best be seen when they're empowered. Yes, so rather than being empowered and the working population are mostly unemployed, they were, there's a lot of, I don't want to use the word poor right now, but, for lack of a better word, and of course incapacitated from having access to amenities, but that will empower people to venture into entrepreneurship is one of the discussions we're having today. And of course, let me throw light on this chain. This chain action is what we see in Nigeria economy that is rather making us, less of an economic power, while other nations like China are developing their human capital. And when I talk about China developing as human capital, I want to say that China and Singapore, they are the kind of people that will have a copyright of another thing, even though that they are using their skills to develop their country. However, on the show today, we will be having real talk with our guest, who is a Nigerian in diaspora, and of course understand the importance of empowerment of Nigerian population to develop the nation. So our topic of discussion is going to be on investment and empowerment, and of course from the diaspora angle in terms of trickling down effect on national development. But before we bring in our guest, via our Zoom line, let's quickly look at his profile. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with us. Lemon Brown, it's a pleasure to have you via our Zoom link today. How are you doing?
Peace. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic, fantastic. I don't know if we've been able to get your visuals right now, but I know that the technical team are having challenges regard. However, let's just move forward. Since our audience can actually hear you. Okay, fantastic. We can see you now. So my first question to you, I went through your profile. I saw some pictures and the likes, and I felt that Nigerian diaspora who have the capacity, yes, let me start from there, to empower people through science, technology in terms of English and mathematics, that's STEM education and other initiatives that would rather, send money to, to their families or relatives or to your families and relatives. I need to ask you, why have you taken that path of empowerment, and what would be the bigger picture being many more people like you can tow the path of youth empowerment and not really tilt towards the math and English STEM? What can you share more light on that?
Definitely. So, I mean, the first thing to understand is that the youth are literally the reason that our society is able to keep going. So that if we don't invest in them right now, we're going to be in trouble later on. So, me personally, I was born in Washington, D.C., grew up in D.C., PG, Maryland County, and I understood how important education was. Now, my path was a little bit different because I'm a music artist. So, me as Mr. Image, the music artist, I was able to find my passion at an earlier age. And when I was able to study engineering, architectural engineering, I was able to make those connections. But see, what happens was when I came back to DC, I realized that a lot of young people don't get that same opportunity. Now, they may be just as smart, they may be just as talented, but I personally have friends that either ended up locked up in prison or ended up dead, just as a victim of some of the things that are happening in our society. So I wanted to figure out a way that I could give back, that I could share my skills and my talents so that these young people would have the same opportunity and even just understand what opportunities are available, specifically with science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And we call it STEAM education. We put the A in STEM. So when I founded the Swaliga Foundation in 2012 in Washington, D.C., it was for that exact mission, is to help young people find their passion, and to help them make those connections to turn something that they love into a successful career. So now here we are celebrating 10 years, and are proud to be collaborating with the Banks Foundation, Lagos State government, and other partners in Nigeria to just make sure that our young people have these same opportunities. Our young people and families definitely need us right now. And when you talk about the future of Nigeria, I found it interesting that so much of the population is under 25, more than 40%. So that means it's a lot of talent. It's a lot of young people that are looking, trying to figure out their path, that really just need some type of support to help them bridge that gap. And that not only affects their families, but it affects everyone. This is an issue that literally impacts everybody's life, making sure that these young people have what they need to be successful.
Fantastic.
Okay, fantastic, Mr. Lemon Brown. Thank you for joining up again. And of course, I know you just left Lagos, Nigeria very recently, I think about a few days back. Why Nigeria amongst every other African countries? I know that you also shared with me that you took a genealogy test and you came back with 30% Nigerian blood, even if you were born in DC and you're from DC. Is it only Nigeria that is benefiting from this, your foundation STEM education, or we have other African countries that you have an alienation with?
Yes, no, thank you for that. I did visit Nigeria for the first time recently. Absolutely changed my life. I mean, this is one of the most beautiful places, and I think other people need to see that. And one of the reasons we wanted to specifically work with Nigeria, one reason that you just mentioned, I have a personal connection, just wanting to understand myself, understanding my genealogy, me being here in the States, but understanding that my ancestry is West African, and is Nigerian, and these cultures are connected. And that's a big thing here in the States, even for young people. Just figuring out their history, figuring out their lineage, and being able to connect to a culture is such an important part of their growth and development. That was one of the reasons that I wanted to come to Nigeria. And then the other piece is the wealth of young people and the wealth of talent. This is one of the largest, strongest nations on the continent, and it's comprised of mostly young people. So it's a natural thing for us to want to bring these opportunities to the young people here. And as we continue to, use the foundation as that bridge, as that vehicle to work with these young people, an important part of that is connecting them to the rest of the world, right? Like I have students here in Washington, D.C., that I tell them all the time about how beautiful Africa is, and we're connecting them with their peers. Because the reality is, as we go further into the future, these global collaborations are going to be a necessity, right? Students in DC are going to have to work with students from Nigeria. Students from Nigeria are going to have to work with students from South Africa. So we have to learn how to collaborate. We have to learn how to share resources because we're much stronger together. And I think starting in Nigeria, in Lagos, was an important part for me, just understanding how vital this piece is going to be to helping the entire continent, and to helping young people that look like us all around the world, helping us to advance and succeed. That has to start right here in Nigeria. It's so important.
All right, many thanks for that submission, and I think it's very uplifting to hear a young man, trying to, throw more light in our culture, especially when it comes to aligning with Nigerians. It's not only you that is aligning with Nigeria. Now we've seen the likes of Megan as well, and that has also helped in terms of contribution to Nigeria. And a lot of people, I think, have sentiment towards, or will I say empathy? Empathy is the word towards Megan, based on the fact that she has been able to align with Nigerians. We Nigerians people, we are very, very accommodating and all. But I like the fact that despite our frustrating economy, our systematic and structural hindrances like insecurity, financial management, lack of transparency, and of course accountability, that did not discourage you and many diasporans, or diasporans, so to speak, from investing in Nigeria. So I would like to ask you, how can we overcome all of these challenges, in terms of quite a number of people I know who are in diaspora would like to actually want to have this experience as well? How do we encourage many of them to give back to their own fatherland, even try to even look for how to, like Megan went to run some DNAs and the likes and all of that, and he came back for certificate of 48%. I can't remember I can't remember in total now. But what's your take on this in terms of encouraging the diasporans to give back to the fatherland?
That's so important. I think the first thing is understanding. It's learning that we have so much more in common than we do alike. And I think once we understand that, everybody has something to contribute. Everybody has something to give. So whether you're supporting local foundations, whether like Swaliga Foundation, making a donation. I know for us, every donation goes towards supporting a young person's education. So that when you giving to organizations like Bayinks Foundation, right? That's going to school fees. That young people and families are benefiting from your contribution. So that's like a step one. That's something that everybody can do. I think beyond that, beyond financial giving, young people need our time, and it's not, that you have to be a full-time teacher or, give an enormous amount of time to make an impact. It could be something as simple as speaking to a group of young people, right? Or volunteer. You know what? I'm gonna give an hour of my time. I'm a professional. I'm a successful entrepreneur. I'm gonna just give an hour of my time to speak to these young people, just to let them know and remind them that there's somebody that looks like you, that was able to be successful, that was able to start their own business, or to get that engineering degree and become a professional. That alone has a deeper impact than we realize, and then just that simple gesture of someone taking the time for them. Like I know even here at DC, our young people don't always see that. So when somebody takes the time to speak to them is very important. So beyond that, volunteering, figuring out how you can there's so many other ways to give besides money. Sometimes connections. You know, you have a connection that this young person needs to get that internship or to get that scholarship and get that job. I think when we look at how, you know, these young people are progressing and coming up, and the things that we have to give as adults, as their community that's supposed to be uplifting them, it's so many different ways to get involved. And again, if you don't know where to start or if you don't know how to get involved, start with the ones that you know are doing the work. You know, Swaliga Foundation, by Inks Foundation, you can literally start there by giving or connecting to some of the events that are already happening, and then figure out from there how you best want to make an impact. But we need everybody. Like this is an issue that affects all of us.
About the issue that affects all of us. I know recently, as part of your trip in Lagos, you visited the Ministry of Education and you were hosted by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education. And I know that promoting the STEAM education, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths, is your foundation looking at building a STEAM center specifically for Nigerian students, so to speak, or you're going to partner or collaborate with the existing programs that the Lagos State education system has?
Great question. And the answer is both. You know, we have been partnering in collaboration with the Banks Foundation for more than 2 years now. And this is a part of our ultimate goal to have a footprint in Nigeria and again become a resource. That's what all of this is about. And I know for me being here in DC, we're always big on the local culture and just understanding how important it is to connect with the community. So us going into Nigeria is not, oh, these Americans are coming to save Africa. Oh, that's not it at all. It's an understanding and an awareness that we both have something to give, and it's an exchange. You understand? So in order for that exchange to fully be maximized, we had to have a partner that is on the ground, that is local to Nigeria, particularly Lagos. You know, and that's how this collaboration, this partnership began. So with this most recent trip, we had an amazing time, but an important part of that was connecting with Lagos State government, learning that there's a STEAM initiative, learning that there are different things that are happening at each school that could use our support. So a big part of us coming in is that awareness first, before we just jump out and say, oh, we're opening a center or we're opening a school, is us fully understanding how we can be of support, how we can be a resource. And as we're learning that, that is the ultimate goal. We want to continue to provide resources for our youth in Nigeria, in the form of a center, in the form of internships, scholarships, opportunities to travel. All of these things are going to benefit these young people. So this is an ongoing relationship. This isn't just one trip and done. This is something that we continue to build and grow as we move into the future. It's very important.
Right there, while you were talking, what I just felt that I needed you to actually more, create more emphasis on is the fact that you don't actually have to be rich before you can give or donate to the public out there, in terms of, the little you have actually changes a lot of things. But moving away from all of that, let me tilt towards your personality. You are a celebrated artist with multiple awards. Your stints have taken you across not only Nigeria, across countries from South Africa to Jamaica to Australia, to just mention a few. With the global acceptance of Afro-inspired, will I say, hip hop and jazz music today, the youth are more responsive, to this, and however, I feel that the youth of today, they are beginning to lose interest when it comes to education. Yes, you are creating more advocacy on, math and engineering and all of that, and science. But the youth of today, with what is happening in our educational system in Nigeria, quite a number of youth of today are actually tilting towards either, skillful jobs and the likes and all of that. How do you want to, educate someone who is listening to you right now, in terms of someone who might want to toe the line of music, how do you want to, educate them in terms of consistency, knowing that the youth of today too just want to get rich quick, not necessarily trying to walk the path through your own process. How do you school them right now?
Excellent question. Yeah, the biggest thing that I tell young people all the time is it's an equation in physics. The law of conservation of energy. It simply says energy in equals energy out. I'll say it one more time. Energy in equals energy out. And this applies to not only physics, this applies to life. So whether you want to be a music artist, whether you want to be an entrepreneur, a doctor, at the end of the day, the energy that you put in is what you get out. So I'm a walking example of that. The work that I do with Swaliga Foundation, in my music career, me being able to travel and connect with so many different places, a lot of that is due to the work that is put in initially. And I also remind my young people as well, like me having an engineering degree and having that knowledge and understanding has made me a better artist as well, has made me a better businessman. So I think in today's society, as we move further into the 21st century, you don't have to be just one thing either. Me being an artist and an engineer actually is a benefit to me. And for these young people, if you are into music, don't limit yourself either. You don't have to just be a music artist. And this day and age, it's about skills and understanding your purpose, knowing that your path is unique to you. So the more skills that you acquire, it makes it easier for you to understand that path. But at the end of the day, you got to put in the work. There's no way to get around it. You have to put in the work, and you have to set a goal that is attainable, that is achievable in your mind. And once you set your course, you do the actions necessary to get there. You got to take action.
Fantastic. Again, many thanks for coming on the show today. It's been an interesting time with you on Real Talk, and we wish you the very best as you're out there, representing us. Yes, so, because you're an extension of us right now. Yeah, it seems as if you want to say something quickly. Go ahead.
Quickly, one thing that we say all around the world, all of our young people that we work with, we say Swaliga, baby. So I want to see if you can say that with me. If you rocking with
me, baby. Oh my God. All right, many thanks. More power to you.
I will
go a quick break and return after a word from our sponsors. Do not stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with us. In case you just joined the show, the first segment ended with Lemon Brown, our guest from the United States, who have threw more light on the youth empowerment coming from for Nigerians that are in diaspora, and of course those who would like to also be part of that, great initiative. We want to say many thanks to him for all that he's doing, for throwing light. I feel that people like that, they are just trying to give another because they're a billionaire or whatever. It's about the change, the impact that you'll be making in the youth empowerment, and we'll say kudos to him. But on the next segment of Real Talk, we will have to drift a little bit into the heated discussion, and that's the debate of the new Naira redesign. There are quite a number of reactions right there, but again, let me quickly use this to tell our listeners or those who are watching us right now. I keep mixing my radio time with my TV time. Yes, but that is how that we're passionate with what we do. Yes, so but don't forget that you can't be part of this discussion by calling the studio number 00988774000 is showing on your screen right now. And remember that we're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook page, both on Real Talk with Kike and of course on Silverbird platform. Yes, this Naira design discussion, I actually yesterday, Wednesday, 23rd or 22nd, yes, 23rd of November 2020, the president actually unveiled the new currencies of the Federal Executive Chamber, the divergent views, that have trailed the unveiling of the redesigning of 200, 500 naira notes, and of course the 1,000 naira notes, with mixed reactions from Nigerians. It's just so unfortunate. Sometimes, yesterday when you go on social media, you see also. But I took this discussion on my radio show yesterday, and I had divergent perspective, from Nigerians on it, and of course with one of my, colleague, he calls me my big sis, whatever. But we had different perspective about this. And but let me quickly throw more light on it for those who are listening to us right now, where I felt that it's new to them. But I want to say that according to CBN, to be precise, the Naira redesign is expected to yield numerous benefits, including the adoption of electronic channels of transaction, reduction in currency management costs, and discouragement, or will I say discouraging counterfeiting and other criminal activities. And when they say other criminal activities, I'm tilting towards bandits, I'm thinking towards terrorists, and I'm asking myself, really, how does it actually, counterfeit all of that right now? But Dami, what's your take thus far with the new Naira redesign? Because I feel that your thoughts on this is quite important.
For me, on stopping some activities, illegal activities, I saw a headline saying that some bandits who abducted a certain man was asking his families to pay with the new Naira note.
Absolutely, you're right.
So I'm thinking in my head like, oh really? So they understand that one of the peculiar reasons why this Naira note is being redesigned is to also retrieve a lot of monies that have been stashed at home, to also help boost our economy and at least give us a soft landing. But for me, reactions, I would have honestly thought that the bill would have come in probably a bit smaller, something more compact. It felt like, okay, it's just the red, green, blue coloring, color changes. Nothing really to read. Money is money at the end of the day. But now, does it, or will it really stop corruption? Will it really stop illegal activities? Will it really forestall all of these vices that the CBN has put out there? The answer for me, it could be a no. Because even I remember this particular one we're using was changed about 2 decades ago, and there was so much frenzy around it. Oh, the new Naira notes, and I can't even really remember what the old notes look like. I think it was the 20 Naira, the 50 Naira, the 10 Naira when it crossed into polymer notes. So for me, it's like nothing has changed. So far, Nigeria and the kind of leadership we put in place has not changed. It might not really change anything for the Naira. So it's still the same leaders that will spend this money.
Glad
it's still us that will spend this money.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I know that Central Bank of Nigeria, the CBN, also says that to address the worrisome rate of inflation in the country, and it has been thrown into the public space right there as one of the benefits. And currently, the inflation rate right now is above 30, even though my partner will say that it's just 21%, but from the little research that I've made, I've seen that it's above 30. So the question right now is the fact that, yes, despite all, since the announcement, let me actually educate those who are listening to or who are watching us right now, that since the announcement of this redesigning of Naira notes and all of that, they've been able to retrieve over 165 trillion Naira, and I'm saying to myself, I wish that they can actually understand that they can, with all that is happening out there. So what is the value of this for the commoner is what I'm actually asking, because as far as I'm concerned, Damiola, what is truly, what can we truly, address when it comes to the cost of food, when it comes to commodities in the market, knowing that, inflation has gone up, now you are redesigning Naira. What are the benefits for the commoners right now in terms of redesigning, bringing down the price of bag of rice or gari and quite a number of commodities that have gone up? What do you have to say?
For me, I would really like us to have in a lot of callers to also share their opinion. My question again is, now that you have redesigned the Naira, how much have you spent to redesign this Naira? Because we already know that for an existing fact, it says that originally even the Nairas that we have, what we are spending now, you spend money, you use money to print money. And we've had it on different occasions and statistics that have said that a lot of times the money we use even to print money is way more than what we are printing. So are we going to continue on this kind of deficit? If we are looking at helping ourselves, helping corruption, helping inflation, reduction of inflation, now it also comes back to us as a people. We have this we have this common attitude of selling stuff. When you put your ware out and you say, okay, it's 1,000, and something that does not even concern dollar at all in any way, and the woman who is selling the wedu will tell you that dollar at a loss. Okay, how does dollar affect that? Maybe yes, if you come back, transportation, fuel, and some of the other commodities that support that. Yes. Well, but now if recently the value of dollar, the Naira has dropped to dollar again, does it change the fact that the person selling Gary will reduce it? Because it's now a Nigerian thing that once it's up and people are buying it, even despite the fact that there will be reduction in the dollar that claims to hike the price, they won't bring it down. So which organization is in charge of making sure that we have equity and balance in our market prices?
Dami, I've never even seen anything that goes up in Nigeria comes down. And seriously, I'm just being realistic.
You're not the only person saying this.
Yeah, so in my head, I'm just thinking, yeah, with all that is going on right now, does our leaders, when they want to, introduce policies, do they actually think of the commoners is what comes to mind. So this country right now, if you ask me, based on what we are discussing right now, is currently going through a lot in terms of the economic and financial problems or challenges, like I like to use the word, because I just feel that these are challenges, and the proposal for me is, when you look at all that have been said, it's good on the paper, but when it comes to maybe tilting or intended benefit as communicated by the CBN, I just feel that it's not so pleasant to the ears, because if you're an economic or an economist, you will actually understand all the facts and figures and the likes and all of that. But however, I feel that our problems and the concerns of Nigerians right now are very simple. Is that they just, apart from leadership, I just feel that they just want to be able to afford 3 square meal, yes, and have a roof over their head, and have basic amenities when it comes to roads and infrastructure and the likes. And so I just feel that the government, launches a good sounding initiative with lofty ideas, without them not thinking of what the outcome will be. And I just feel that the people are sick and tired of them not feeling the right impact as expected. Hence the reason why you feel that when you go on social media, it has been mocked. It has become a mockery for quite a number of people, trying to bring in old pictures or new pictures and just, trying to comparison in terms of coloration and the likes and all. So there's a gap between the proposition in terms of expectation and, eventualities or realities of the country, if you ask me. So the government should not only stop at them just introducing new redesign of this Naira note, if you ask me. I just feel that the government should actually think of how to bring down inflation. I think that is actually paramount right now, making Naira have value. I just feel the Naira right now doesn't have value. Dollar to a Naira is 780. In my mind, I'm just wondering, what kind of a country is this? Value is what Nigerians need in terms of, redesigning of the Naira note. And the fact that, there are quite a number of, pardon me for using the street words, Japa or Sapa. I know you people have educated me in terms of the difference, but there's a lot of brain drain that is going on right now. And I'm feeling it even with my families. I'm feeling it even with, clients or organizations that are aligned with, that I felt that are actually doing well. Their children are in, proper schools and the likes and all of that. But these are people who, there's no value for living anymore. There's no value for earning. That's the word. And it's just unfortunate that all of this is happening. There's a brain drain. And right now, I just feel that the policy, the timing of this policy is actually wrong. That's my take on it. But let's quickly move on to the trending story, which happens to be the last segment of the show. And the first trending story that caught our attention is that of the grocery, which is still related to what we are talking about. The grocery of consumption costs in the country, which Moyolawa is, I'm actually her aunt to make that she's my in-law actually, yes. Okay. So, and she put it out there that 500 naira, 500k rather, 500,000 naira is not enough to buy a grocery. And before I give my submission on this, Daniela, let me come to you. What's your take when you saw this trending from Moyolawa?
Well, when I saw it, first thing I did was I went to read reactions, I went to read comments of other people. And I saw that, yes, a couple of people aligned with her, and some people felt like, oh, she was being too outrageous with the bill. But let's check it. Okay, let's put it on the table. A bag of rice is 40k, averagely. 40k, 500 minus 40k. You have 460 left. Now you want to buy some people actually do bulk buying. They want bulk buying for a month, for 3 weeks and all of that. Okay, you want to kill a goat in your freezer. You want to buy pepper, a basket of tomato and all of that. That has even taken another 60,000. I bet to tell you that there's no goats for 20,000 again. Goats, there's no goats. So at the end of the day now, 100,000 have gone out of 500. It's remaining 400. You want to come into laundry session, a full 2 kg of detergent, washing detergent now is about 2,500. Okay, you want to buy 10, sir. That's 25,000. Oh yeah, deduct it from the remaining 400,000 balance. Yeah, left with like 475. Yeah. Let's keep going on this math and see really is 500,000 enough. But I will still say that yes, for her, because she can afford to go on a grocery shopping with 500,000. Some people doing way less than 20K. And they still manage, in buying bits. And that's why the aboki and the petty trader on the roadside will keep making those little sales. Because I want to buy soap detergent. You buy 100 naira today, it will finish tomorrow. You go back again. You go buy another 100 naira. You go back again. And that's how the rippling effects keep going down. But if you really want to buy in bulk, 500K now is the value of the previous 250,000 naira in about 5 years ago. So really, that's just the blunt truth. That's the reality that we are facing now.
All right, I just want to, thank Boyolawa for actually even bringing this to fall for us to even be having this discussion, because that's the reality that we live in. But let me start from the exchange rate that I actually mentioned earlier, and the exchange rate now is almost 780 to $1 today. So I'm asking, that is black market. Black market even dropped. Black market. And like you said, bag of rice is hovering around either 38K to 45K. Yeah. Depending on the brand you also want to buy. Can I put it out there? Also, the price of grocery, as far as I'm concerned, have gone up by 200 or in some cases 300, because people are actually struggling to make ends meet. So the painful part of all of this is for me with the fact that the inflation earning of majority, which is which are civil servants. Yes, let me start from civil servants. Civil servants are still static, because except for the fact that Lagos State, Governor Sanwo-Olu actually, effected a pay rise on the civil servant. You can imagine the same salary now that is chasing to 300 rise, so to speak, in your demand cost for consumption is actually another cost entirely. When you think about transportation, when you think about the standard of living, the living expenses and the likes and all that, it is just harrowing to understand that this is actually going on right now. And we are tilting towards this festive period. Things will double. I was sharing on my radio show yesterday how my house assistant, one of my house, I like to call him chief of staff, Solomon, actually was talking about, we need to quickly go and, stock up the house and the likes, and before December will come and the likes and all of that. And really, even with that, you will not believe that ×2 was what we actually used in actually stocking up the house. So I think that there should be more effective monetary policies to tackle inflation and devaluation of the naira, instead of us thinking of towards redesigning and the likes and all of that. But that's my 2 cents.
If redesigning for me,
it's just unfortunate that things like this still happen.
If redesigning for me,
you expect our leaders to actually come together. So it's not just to man up. Come to the table and actually evaluate some decision before you take it. I think that's the effect of some of the decisions that they take that actually backfires, because they actually don't come to the table to dialogue. Look at the merit and merit. What's the ripple effect on the economy as a whole? I think that sometimes they actually target their elite before taking some decision, not actually the commoners who is going to have the main rippling effect. They are below the pyramid. It's just unfortunate.
I was even thinking, in my head that, okay, maybe this naira redesign was just going to be a hoax and just make people bring out that money they hoarded. If we are saying that we have realized about...
People actually brought out the money. That means just imagine 165 billion naira was what the government was able to retrieve when this redesigning policy came into place.
It shows that
and they said it's actually above what their target was. So what does that tell you? And you still see some people, in my head, I'm even thinking, with this redesigning, does it mean that the so-called election that they are targeting, does it mean that the so-called people who are still in this political power will not still start this new money? The answer is there. They will still have access to it. So what is the main benefit of all of this?
Somebody jokingly said yesterday that you will start going to parties in Nigeria and those money changers will be the first people to have this new mint.
No, so the new mint you are talking about, have you observed that our banks today, except a few, actually don't give out new mint? So in my head, I'm like, okay, when you look at it, when you flip it from another perspective, from that, okay, maybe Nigerians, maybe we will have new notes to spend now. But should I also say that we all need to take ownership, in the sense that we all don't have value for the so-called naira.
Yeah.
You see, when
We don't
people are
respect
even,
it.
we don't respect, we don't understand the pride of it. So I just feel that there are a lot of advocacy that needs to go around that, despite the fact that they've redesigned a new note. Some people feel that, yeah, they will start collecting new notes. The question is, hey, we don't know for how long those new notes will remain with you before it becomes another dirty new note. Knowing that even those people at the party, when you go to events today, Damilola, those people who are exchanging
money
changers and the likes and all of that, it's just unfortunate. They are running commentary. They started running commentary, madam. We need to move. All right, the second trending story that caught our attention is that of the rally that will be taking place, the APC Tinubu's presidential rally that will be taking place in Lagos City. Dami, I know you and I had a debate a little bit before we got.
No, it was not a debate. It was just a healthy discussion.
It's a debate, guys. What's your take on this?
Well, today I think I saw that it was going to be Saturday, and they had it's going to happen at the Teslim Balogun Stadium in Surulere. And there've been news out there that we should plan our movement so that at the end of the day, you not start cursing and swearing. They've told you people to be forewarned is to be forearmed. But however, I also think that if you really think about other people and their movements, rally should not be something to disrupt our lives. Because I can imagine ahead those who want to have wedding ceremonies, those who want to go, who have emergencies one way or the other, and trying to re-navigate. And at the end of the day, we don't have too many roads in Lagos linking to maybe some areas. Some areas is just one way in, one way out. And if you now have to make use of that same road that is being used for election rally, we know how it was. I've been caught up in one election rally chaos, what's it called, traffic. I think the one for Ambode's first step. I disliked myself all the way from, I think it was Obakran to Computer Village. I spent 5 hours. Little did I know that there was rally. I was blaming myself that why did I come out? So on Saturday, please, if you don't have anything very, very important, life-threatening to do, just stay in your house because you have to swear for somebody at the end of the day. So my point is, rally or no rally, it shouldn't disrupt our life activities. They should also, I know they do it a lot of times, they should also engage some agencies, the road safety, the LASMA, to maintain law and order. And of course, people that are going to these rallies, please, politicians, enlighten your people on how to park appropriately. It's that time they will wear t-shirt of a Miloko and they will feel that the road belongs to them on that Saturday. No, it belongs to all of us. So whatever it is on Saturday that is going to happen, rally or no rally, who go win in February 25? Now you go win.
Now, sometimes I also feel that who go win, they already know. These are just trying to do the needful, so to speak. With all that you've shared, I'm just asking, where do I start from? Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm thinking to myself, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu coming to Lagos to come and carry out a rally. The presidential candidate who is always big on the fact that, as an APC man, he dominated the state, he has done so much. Tinubu is coming to the state that he governed for 8 years for a lot of people who do not even know who do not know history today, So he's coming for a rally to where he has majority of his political landmark achievements, according to what he has constantly said in most of his interviews out there and all of that. So it's coming to a Lagos state where I just feel that the backbone of his ambition, so to speak, and the boasting record to his presidency is always on the fact that the blueprint of Lagos today is based on the fact that he created it and the likes and all of that. Of course, we will expect a marathon crowd and a paralyzing traffic on that rally day. So Lagosians, should you take note, please remember that sometimes we do not need violence to actually communicate what is expected of us. We should just be law and order, be an omoluabi. Again, Lagosians has the highest number of road transport, when it comes to transport workers, where their union is most active, and hence the reason why I just feel that I need to emphasize more that for all those who will be participating, who are going to be part of this coordination and all of that, it is more important for us to keep safe, avoid violent areas, and also try to, because there are a lot of picking here and there that will be ongoing when it comes to your phones and the likes. However, putting that aside, I feel that this rally will send in a lot of signals, and it will reflect the stronghold of APC in Lagos State, because I know that the crowd in Lagos will come out in numbers, and it will reflect on how powerful this rally will take place, and especially when it comes to election 2023, their coordination at this rally, as far as I'm concerned, will inform us on how to coordinate themselves in the election period when it comes to how people should safeguard many of their properties in terms of cars and the likes and their phones, just like I've emphasized. But more importantly, I think my last message on this rally is the fact that I'm sure that both candidates will address their supporters. I'm talking about Atiku and of course Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu at the stadium before any of their rallies will begin. I just want to give us some insight. I want to give those who are listening to us right now on an insight into the plans and programs that they might intend to bring forward as part of their presidency blueprint. So I think that it is more important for us as Nigerians to look out for the ideas that they have. It is more important for us to look out for the plan that they have to actualize when they get to the corridor of power. It is more important for us to understand that it's not just the noise on the street that should matter to Nigeria, but on how they will have you, the commoners, in mind when they get to the corridor of power. On this note, I think this is why I draw the curtains of the show. So we'll come your way next week. Remember to be kind to somebody, put a smile on somebody's face, regardless of what the challenges is out there, even with you. And I hope that God will continue to abide with us by now.